A very warm good evening to all of you. Welcome to the 131 session of CENTA's webinar series for teachers. I hope all of you are keeping safe and staying healthy. The facilitator for today's session is Dr. Arshi Gohar. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Uh, and she's going to speak on the topic becoming a multifaceted professional, exploring various career paths along with teaching. Dr. Arshi Gohar is an educationist, counselor, teacher trainer, and an author, having 26 years of vast experience teaching experience in various schools and colleges. She regularly conducts workshops for students, teachers, and parents. Before we begin the session, I would like to inform you all that you will receive participation certificates for the session. So please do fill out the feedback form that will be shared with you towards the end of the session at 5:45 p.m. And with this, I hand it over to Harshi ma'am. Ma'am, over to you. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Prachi, for a wonderful introduction of mine. A very warm and happy evening to all the teachers over there. It's my proud privilege that today I am going to address the community which is known for shaping the future citizens, a community which is providing the selfless service not only to one nation, one community, but to the entire humanity, I should say. And we are there together for 1 hour, and I hope the session is going to be very fruitful. So, before I start, I want to salute all the teachers with some lines I have written. So, here it goes. It is just my salute to all the teachers who are serving the entire humanity. These are some lines which I have written. A teacher is a person who is born to motivate, always ready to utilize his entire energy to create. Nothing in this world can make him deviate from his noble mission to facilitate. And this is what a teacher is. There can be problems, there can be testing times, there can be challenges, but teacher is a person who takes everything in his stride and move forward. Why? Because every teacher is having a well decided aim and motive, and that is to serve the humanity, to mold the personalities, to work for the benefit and for the overall development of all the students. So, dear teachers, before I start the formal session, I will ask you some very simple questions, and I request all of you to please give your responses in the chat box, and simple answers you can give. Like my first question to all the attendees is, are you feeling pride in being a teacher? A very simple question, I repeat it. Are you feeling pride in being a teacher? You can give your comments in the chat box, just yes or no, because for further questions, we'll be going for the reason. You can just give your yes or no. Do you feel pride in being a teacher? You can just write in the comment box. Basically, every teacher feels pride in holding this profession because we all know that this is the most respected profession, a profession that basically creates and nurtures all other professions. So, that is a well established fact that every teacher feels pride in being a teacher. My next question to all of you, are you a happy teacher? Do you feel happy when we are there in your class, when you are there surrounded with your students with all their problems, their queries? So, just a simple answer. I need in the comment box. Are you a happy teacher? You take yourself as a happy teacher. Okay, so we all are happy teachers because it's not possible to create a happy environment until and unless the teacher is happy. So, as I've just started with, there can be various challenges, there can be testing times, but teachers are responsible for overall environment around them. So, they are known for creating the happy environment where the learning outcomes should be maximum. And my last question, are you satisfied and contented in being a teacher? Are you satisfied being a teacher? A contented? Okay. See, dear teachers, I have got the options, your answers. Actually, all of us feel pride in being a teacher. And we have to be proud because the service we are providing to the humanity for the future citizens. The second thing, we all are happy individuals because we have to nurture the happy citizens. But when it comes to the satisfaction, the overall contentment, then many teachers face different types of problems. And in the present scenario during the pandemic, although teachers were the first one to adapt with the change, it doesn't take any time in the switching process from their offline classes to the online classes. They have grabbed the change gracefully so that the teaching learning process should go on. But still, teachers have faced a lot of problems. So, I'm here today with all of you to discuss the importance of being a teacher and to do the proper self assessment, to understand your skills, to realize your capabilities and use them wisely. And teaching is not only a single career, many careers can be taken together with teaching because teaching is a profession which you where you keep on learning. The learning should not stop because while you are teaching, simultaneously you are learning the things also. So, the topic of today's session is how to create a multifaceted personality. For that, there are many options, dear teachers. The only thing is we have to realize, we have to understand, and together with teaching, we can take all these options. So, the first career option which I'm going to discuss today is being an author. See, teachers are known for their subject knowledge, their command on the language, and their skill to keep on learning, to keep on exploring. And that is the skill which is required to become an author. Earlier, being an author was truly a Herculean task because the entire process was quite lengthy and complicated. But now, with the availability of the online platforms, becoming an author has become quite easy. The only requirement is you should have a proper subject knowledge, you should have a command on language, you should be aware of different educational pedagogies, strategies, tools, and all. And above all, you should have a little bit technical knowledge. So, all these things are there in every teacher's, I believe. So, here you can see some pictures of the teachers turned authors. Like the first one is Professor S.C. Verma, a renowned physics teacher. He's a professor working at IIT Kanpur, and you cannot understand the concept of physics until and unless you go through his wonderful books. And it's a well established fact that all those who are appearing for the engineering entrance examinations, that is IIT, they cannot pass the entrance examination until and unless they go through the books written by Professor H.C. Verma. Volumes of physics, he has written 2 books, and they are wonderful books. And apart from that, the experiments he keep on doing, the sessions he keep on taking, everything is available online. So if you want to share your knowledge, if you want to preserve your knowledge for the future generations, becoming a textbook author is one of the best ways. In the line, we can see Dr. R.D. Sharma. He is known for math textbooks. You cannot go through the studies of your math classes, whether you are in school or in colleges, without without exploring the books written by Dr. R.D. Sharma. He is also a teacher. He has taught the undergraduate, the postgraduate, as well as engineering students. Next comes Sudha Murthy, the chairperson of Infosys Foundation. She has also started her career as a teacher in an engineering college. And today, we know that she is a compassionate social worker, and as an author she has covered variety of genres. She has written novels, she has written textbooks in computer science, she has written short stories. So like this, if you are having command on language, if you are having command on your subject, you can start working as an author together with pursuing your career of teachers. And it's not restricted only to the textbooks. All of you must have heard the name of J.K. Rowling, and she is known for the wonderful characterization of Harry Potter. She has also started her career as a school teacher in Portugal. So the only thing is, if you are having the skills required for becoming an author, you can easily take up this career. Next is counselor. Nowadays, we hear a lot about different types of counselors. Why? Because in the present scenario, we are facing lot of psychological problems. There are lot of mental issues, social issues. And now, because we are living in an era of competition, we are living in an era of uncertainties, and that causes the different types of psychological problems. And everybody is facing these type of psychological issues. To take care of these psychological issues, counselors are there. But, dear teachers, for becoming a counselor, only your teaching skills are not required, because counselors are the trained professionals. But being a teacher, you learn the skills of rapport building. You learn the skills of understanding your children, assessing your children, because every year the teachers are having different set of students, and by the end of the session, teachers are able to know everything about the entire batch. They know their strengths, they know their limitations, they know their progress, they know their academic standards, they know their psychological problems, they know their social skills as well as problems. So, because teachers are already having all these skills, so they can also take up the career of counselor. But for that, you need a proper training, a proper certification. Then only you can work as a counselor, and after certification also, you should be a licensed practitioner. Then only you can provide the therapies. Here you can see the pictures of two well-known psychologists and counselors of the world. Albert Bandura. He is known to be the best living psychologist, and he was working in Harvard University as the head of psychology department. He was a teacher initially, but he keep on experimenting, and he was the originator of the theory of learning. He keep on exploring the different issues faced by the students, and then he has proposed the theory of learning. He has given a number of research articles in different journals, and the work which he has done is going to be contributed for everyone related to the field of education. In the same way, Susan Carey, an American psychologist, he is working in the Stanford University as the head of psychology, and she is known as one of the best women counselors of the world. So, teachers can take this career of counseling because, as I've told you, they are already having the inbuilt skills. Only if you are interested to take up this career, you should possess the proper qualifications, the certification, and then you should have a proper license to practice. Nowadays, educational consultant is a well known term. We can find educational consultancies everywhere in cities, in countries around the globe. You can find variety of educational consultants. Basically, the work of educational consultants is to assist in the teaching learning process so that the maximum output should be achieved. We are having the curriculum, we are having the strategies, we are having the educational tools, but how to utilize them so that the maximum output can be achieved, that is the work of an educational consultant. And because of the globalization, we have come so close to the entire world. Nowadays, going for overseas education, giving the examinations of different universities, that has become very easy. Why? Because we are having the people who are assisting, the people who are suggesting, the people who are helping to find our dream destination, I should say. And here I have mentioned the top most educational consultants of India, AS Edutech, EduGetters, and Parho Global. These are the well-known educational consultants based in India, and they basically help the school children as well as the college children. Like Parho Global is a consultancy which is helping the college students for their overseas education. So teachers, because they are aware, they keep on guiding their children. So they can also take the career of educational consultant. Writer. Teachers are known for their reading and writing skills. Every teacher keep on writing the messages, the notices, the meetings, minutes of the meetings, and so on. Because it's a part and parcel of teaching profession. Every teacher is having a proper writing skills. If you want to utilize these writing skills, there are many careers, and all these are part-time careers which you can work in these careers together with your teaching experiences and profession. Like nowadays, we are having a variety of content writers. They are writing the content for different blogs, different industries, different organizations. In the same way, technical writers are the people who are technically trained, technically educated. Their work is to simplify the complicated things. Like here, I want to take an example of people who are having the knowledge of computer coding. So suppose if the proper coding in any computer language is given, these people, technical writers, can simplify those instructions in an understandable way. In the same way, copywriting is also very famous these days, where you have to write down the positive things about any organization or the industry for their marketing purposes. So these careers can be taken by teachers because they are always good in writing. Life coach. Life coach is a very vast term. Nowadays, you can see variety of life coaches because the life is known for a variety of aspects. In the same way, we can see variety of life coaches available nowadays. There can be leadership coaches, there can be wellness coaches, there can be relationship coaches, there can be parenting coaches, and so on. The list is endless. Now, for life coach also, every teacher cannot straight away take this career. First of all, you should have the proper training and the certification. Then you have to select the area where you want to provide the coaching. Like if you are fitness freak, you can take the area of wellness. But for every sort of life coach, you have to take a proper training and certification. Although life coaching is not a regulated industry, you don't need a proper license, but you need a proper certification and training. Then only you can take up this life coaching as your career. Many teachers are taking this career together with teaching. We are having wonderful life coaches in India and abroad. Basically, the maximum life coaching is required in the languages, especially English language, because that is the means of communication which is used in a number of countries around the world. So, as life coaches, you can take any one area and you have to go through rigorous training, and after that you can start your practice as a life coach. And this is such a flourishing career that some of the well established people have left their careers and have taken the career of life coach. Like here you can see the example of Saloni Singh. He was a gynecologist, and slowly and gradually she has taken up this career. Now she is a full-time life coach. In the same way, Supriya Puchari, she is an award winner for Incredible India 2018. And apart from that, there are many life coaches. Like here, I want to mention the name of Shaini Chatterjee. She is an internationally certified coach from ICE. ICE stands for International Coach Federation, and she is a certified coach. So, like this, you need a certification, then you can take this career. Child psychologist. As I've just told you that because of the fast-paced life, because of the competitiveness, because of the challenges, the psychological problems are increasing day by day. And now the time has come when our schools and colleges are also facing these psychological issues. That's why, like in India, Central Board of Secondary Education has made it mandatory that every academic institution should have a child psychologist or a special educator who can take care of the psychological needs of the academic institution. Now, for child psychologists, you should have the proper academic qualifications, means you should have doctorate in psychology, and after that, you have to clear the examinations, you have to go for the license, because until and unless you are having the license, you cannot practice the therapies, because psychology is all about providing the therapies to the clients, and that is possible only when you are a licensed practitioner. Now, career counseling is a type of counseling which is quite famous these days because the present generation is totally confused. Earlier, there were less professions, less options. So, there was less confusion. But nowadays, at every stage, the children are confused. They don't know which stream they should opt, And after completing their school education, they go clueless because they are not prepared. So, for this purpose, career counseling is required. And it is a well established fact that career counseling should start from class 9. Up till now, what as parents, as teachers, we were doing? We were talking about the career counseling mostly from class 11 when the children have to choose their streams. But basically, we have to start the proper career counseling from class 9 so that the children should get a direction. And career counseling is all about finding the interest and the abilities of the children and accordingly guiding them for a proper profession, for a proper vocation they can take. Again, in the career counseling, you should have the proper qualifications to start working as a career counselor. But because teachers are very good counselors, because they keep on guiding their students regarding their career, regarding their streams, regarding the subjects they should opt for, because while they are there with their students, they have a clear idea about the strengths, the weaknesses, the limitations, the interest, everything. So they can guide accordingly. But a career counselor is a professional who is aware about all the careers, about all the institutes, about different tests. So the career counselor can conduct the different psychometric tests to find out the abilities, to find out the interest of the individual, and accordingly the guidance will be given. So teachers can also take up this career because they keep on guiding, they keep on directing their students. So with a proper training and certification, you can also take this career. Then corporate trainers. Basically, every well-known organization and industry, they are hiring the corporate trainers. They are basically the people who are brushing the skills of the industry people. And teachers are basically the best trainers in the world because they know the strategies, they know how to give the step by step training for each and everything. They learn it with their experience, with their expertise. So, this is one career which can be taken by the teachers because many organizations they are calling the teachers to teach the communication skills because that is the top most employability skills. Every college is hiring the teachers for teaching the communication skills in the same way because teachers are good in maintaining the spirit of teaching learning process because they are already having good skills for collaboration, for rapport building. So basically, teachers can use this aspect also. This is a part-time work together with their teaching career. They can be the corporate trainers, they can organize the workshops, they can take the training sessions where they can work on different skills of the people who are already employed in any organization. So that is also a wonderful career which we can think about. Then, standardized test. As teachers, we are using a variety of tests during the entire session. Basically, you are creating the test, you are creating the conceptual test, you are taking the practical examination, you are taking the verbal test. So, every teacher is in a way preparing the different types of tests. Now, these tests can be made standardized because once the test is standardized, it can be used everywhere. And as teachers, we know there are variety of standardized tests like achievement test where we can check the achievement level of the students. In the same way, intelligence test, personality test, all these are standardized tests. Like if you are going for the foreign university, you have to clear the test of TOEFL and IELTS. They are having the SAT, that is a scholastic aptitude test. So these are the standardized tests. So if you love to keep on exploring and experimenting and learning, you are the right person to take up this career. This is also a part-time career. You can continue with your teaching profession, but you can design your test, you can make them standardized, and all those who have taken some research, like if anybody has done the M8 or PhD, there are projects. Like in engineering colleges also, in the final year of graduation level, you are having the short projects where you are doing the research, where you are preparing some test. In the same way, you can design the test. Because basically, many consultancies, what they are doing, they are providing you the test, and that is assisting you because you are aware of creating the test and administering the test, implementing them in a proper practical manner. So this can be one good career for the teachers. They can design the test. Those tests can be utilized depending on the criteria of which class, which level, which grade it can be used. Now, camp directors. Nowadays, we come across a variety of camps. There are sports camps, there are academics camps, there are post-scholastic camps. Some institutions are organizing the overnight camp just to implement the learning in a practical way. Because during the school or during the college hours, things are fixed. We don't have the flexibility to change the timing of the periods because we keep on struggling with the syllabus. But nowadays, as teachers, we all know the education system is totally child centered. We have to take care not only the academic needs of our students, but together with them, we have to work towards the overall development of all our students. That's why camps are organized at school and college level because teachers are having these managerial skills. They are having these administrative skills. They have learned these skills in the career where basically every day they are managing something or other. So with this expertise and experience can be utilized in becoming a camp director. Like many institutions, they are having the camps during the summer vacations or the winter vacations or in the break between the ending of the session and starting of a new session. So basically, the responsibility of camp director is to plan and implement all the activities, keeping in mind the output, the learning output or the outcome. And apart from that, the other facilities which we are going to provide, the fooding, the lodging, the security. So basically, a camp director is an overall in charge of whatever is going to happen in the entire camp. And your camp can be very successful if you have planned the things in a proper way. Because as they say, proper planning prevents poor performance. So you can start with small camps which you are going to organize in your schools at different levels. You can have the academic camps, you can have the scholastic or the post-scholastic camps, you are having the sports camps, you are having NCC camps. So here also the teachers are having the chance to utilize their skills. Now curriculum design. We know that curriculum is an important pillar. In fact, the most important pillar of the teaching learning process. And our learning outcomes exactly depend on how the curriculum is implemented. We all are having the same curriculum. We are having the same educational scenario, but we all have observed some teacher is teaching the same subject, the same curriculum in such a way that each and every student is able to understand. But the other teacher who is having the same curriculum, but that teacher is not able to do the justice with the curriculum. So now it's the time to realize the importance of the implementation part of the curriculum. And you must be aware the transformation which has taken place in the government schools of Delhi. Esther Duflo and his husband, Nobel laureate Abhijit Banerjee, they have taken up a project where they have worked on the curriculum implementation and they have used the different teachers of the schools. And now, when this implementation is done in Delhi schools, they are getting a maximum and wonderful outcome as far as learning is concerned. So, with a little research, with a little experimentation, we as teachers can do the wonders. We cannot change the curriculum, but when it comes to implementation, we can perform little changes just to make it more understandable, just to make it more efficient, more result oriented. So teachers can take the curriculum design as a career because every teacher is directly or indirectly doing the curriculum design. You are in the starting of the session only, you are dividing the chapters, then you are going through the activities which will be a part of different curricula and all. So you can take this career also as a full-time career. Instructional design. Dear teachers, nowadays, because we are going through blended learning, earlier it was only offline classes, but now we know that blended learning is going to stay. There will be online as well as offline teaching learning process. And here we can utilize the proper instructional design. Instruction is basically the assistance given in taking up your lessons in a proper way. And whenever we are designing the instructions, we have to follow the ADDIE model, which goes like analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. As teachers, throughout the sessions of our academics, we do all these things. We analyze the things, we design, like question paper we used to design, we design the different assignments, we design the questions, and then we keep on developing. If you are teaching the same subject in the same class, you must have observed that every year there is some change because it all depends on the students which you are going to teach. So Robert M. Gagne is known to be the founder of ISD, that is Instructional System Design. So with a little research, you can also try your hands in the instructional design because this is also a part-time career which you can take together with your teaching profession, where you can design the instructions. These standard instructions can be provided to different classes, different schools, different academic institutions. Then education, we all know it's a dynamic process. It keeps on changing and a lot of research is being done in the field of education. We all are aware regarding the national education policy, but it all started in the year 1968. India has got its first national education policy under the leadership of Mrs. Indira Gandhi. The second education policy was given in 1986 under the leadership of Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. But because with time The educational standards also keep on changing. The requirements of students keep on changing. So again, it was revised in 1992 under the leadership of P.V. Narasimha Rao. And now, in 1920, we have got the National Education Policy, and still we are working towards the implementation, because you can see the transformation in between the first education policy and the present education policy. Why? Because the educational needs, the academic needs are changing, the standards are changing, and accordingly, the entire education system should also change. Like now, the skill based education is given more importance. Why? Because we are producing a number of unemployed graduates and postgraduates. They are having the degrees, but they don't have the skills. That's why when we are going to implement the national education policy, basically it is a thorough system of lot of research. As teachers, we are not aware what research work they all have done. But in the present education policy, many of you must have participated, because the Central Board of Secondary Education and NCRT, they have done a wonderful work, I should say. They have taken the feedbacks from all the stakeholders. They have taken the feedbacks from parents, from teachers, and also from students. And depending on the feedback they have collected from all the stakeholders of education, they have designed this new education policy. There are variety of institutes all around the globe who are basically busy in doing the research work. We know in India, when we talk about, there are IITs, there are NIITs, there are AIMS, ICER, and so many research institutes. When we talk about the international level, there is American Educational Research Association, known for research activities in the field of education, and they are having the 25,000 members all around the world. In the same way, ACER in Australia and SRHE in UK. These are some of the institutes who are basically busy in extensive research. So, after taking the career of teacher, suppose after taking your retirement and all, you can contribute in being a part of education policy and research. So with this, I come to the end of my session. Thank you for being wonderful listeners and audience. Now I will take questions. Basically, dear teachers, the list is endless, because in 1 hour I can take only few of the careers which you can think about them. But apart from that, if you explore, you will find a variety of different career options which are awaiting for you. So just try to explore, try to research, and if you are able to understand your skills, your interests, your abilities, you can take up any of these careers together with your teaching profession. So thank you so much. This is all from my side. Now I can take up questions. If there are any questions, I can take up those questions. Uh, I cannot see any question in the chat. Prachi, can you see the questions they are asking?
Um, Ma'am, somebody has asked how to get a license to become an educational consultant. And
All right.
somebody had also asked what qualification does one need to
Hmm.
become an educational consultant or a career counselor.
Okay. First of all, I will talk about the counselor. Counselors are basically the trained professionals, as I said. For becoming a counselor, You should hold a bachelor or the master's degree plus certificate in counseling. When we talk about India, there is National Career Service NCS, and it is governed by Ministry of Labor and Employment. You can explore it because nowadays the problem is that you can have variety of sources, but before taking up any course, please check the authenticity of that organization. Because once you open your Facebook account or LinkedIn account or any account on the platforms, a number of advertisements will pop up. Certified counselor, certified psychologist, but please check the authenticity of the organization before you go for it. And for practicing, you need a proper license from RCI. RCI is Rehabilitation Council of India. Until and unless you procure this license from RCI, you cannot practice as a full-fledged counselor. So these are the important things about being a counselor. The same goes with child psychologist. Child psychologist, first of all, the first qualification is they should hold masters, or it's better if they hold the doctorate degree. And after that, they have to appear for an examination. There is a proper examination for professional practice in psychology. In short, we call it EPPP, Examination for Professional Practice in Psychology. You have to go through this examination. Then only you will be getting the license. Means for getting the license, you have to clear the examination. Then only you can start practicing as a child psychologist. When we talk about international scenario, there is American Board of Professional Psychology, which is providing a psychology license in 15 specialty areas. Because as I have told you, either a psychologist or a counselor, it is a very vast area. So depending on the different types of psychology, like clinical psychology, mental psychology, and so on. 15 areas are defined by American Board of Professional Psychology. I hope I have answered this question.
Yes,
Anything
ma'am,
else?
I think this covers. Uh, could you please shed some light on the course one needs to take or the path that one needs to follow to become an educational consultant?
Okay. See, educational consultant is a person who should have a thorough knowledge of the educational pedagogies, the strategies, the educational tools, as well as the academic standards of different universities. Suppose if you are, see, the area of educational consultant is also different. If you are working as an educational consultant helping the school, your job profile will be different because you will be providing them the assessment tools. You will be providing them the different types of educational tools, the technical tools, which can be used to get maximum output. But if you are working with the children, with the students, college going students, so naturally you should have an idea of the different procedures of admissions in different universities. This it all depends on your clientele. If you are working as an educational consultant for a middle school, then your work profile will be different. The only thing is, first of all, you should have a proper educational background, and you should have experience in any of the academic institutions. You don't need a proper license for them because you can work individually also, or you can attach yourself in any established consultancy also. So every area is quite large. So it all depends on your clientele, what type of people you are going to deal with. And accordingly, you should be well prepared because that sort of information you have to provide to your clients.
Thank you,
Anything
ma'am.
else?
I think that covers all. If anybody wants to ask any question, we still have around 5 minutes. So you can please ask questions if you want to Dr. Arshi.
Any questions from your
That
side,
is,
dear audience?
um, I think that is all, ma'am. And we can wrap up the session now.
Okay. So, on a closing note, I just want to talk to all the teachers that, dear teachers, you are doing the wonderful work. Be proud of being a teacher. And self assessment is the best assessment. Assess yourself because nobody is perfect. We all are in learning mode. And the best teacher is one who is a best learner. Because you all know education is the most dynamic process. If you are being teaching for 10 years, you must have seen every year there are certain changes. And we have to keep that pace. We have to follow that pace which is going to change, which is taking this transformation in the educational scenario of the entire world. So just keep on learning, keep on experimenting, have confidence in yourself, and be proud for being a teacher. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for a very engaging and informative session for our community of teachers. I'm sure that our teachers have got a lot of takeaways for their professional growth in this session. Thank you so much, all participants, for engaging with us today. To register for more such upcoming webinars, please visit my center. Thank you, ma'am, again. And I wish you all bye and a very happy evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you all.